The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. You've probably heard of it. You've probably played it. You're probably watching a video about it right now. Like you, I have played this game, but I gotta say it's been a few years. Probably around the time that Elder Scrolls 6 was announced. And I mean, that was like in the time of the dwarves at this point in time. And you know, in my foggy, snow-covered, and wind-blown memory of this fine province, I had the recollection that Skyrim, in its harsh, cold world, was given a lot of warmth and comfort through its cozy homes. In this last week, I have been in search of these cozy homes from my memory, and you know what? I've really struggled to find them. Largely, the houses are cold and drab, with shoddy woodworking, and enough animal heads stapled on the walls for a necromancer to start a zoo. Anything but cozy. Sure, the Hearthfire DLC and the player homes, while with all their customization, have the possibility to get this coziness, but what about the NPCs? I feel like they deserve this same level of comfort and warmth. Well, I have been in an abundance of houses in this last few days, and while rare, there is still some coziness to be found, and here I am to share my favorite spots. Alright, we are going to start our search over here at the Snow Shod Farm, which is just south of Riften. There also isn't really any snow, so I do feel like this place is not really as advertised. This is the first place I wanted to choose, and you know, the name not making a good first impression, neither is the fact that there are just 3 law enforcement officers right outside the front door, because that's kind of the least cozy attribute any place can have. But let's take a look inside this cozy cabin. This place is cozy as soon as you walk in the door. You know, you've got this little fire pit right near the entrances where you can do some cooking. And so I like that, you know, the people here that live here are obviously farmers. And so they're outside all day. They probably get cold, pretty tired. But as soon as they walk in their door, they're kind of immediately greeted by the warmth of this fire and maybe the smell of the soup or the stew du jour. And you know what? As I mentioned before, like a lot of the houses in Skyrim just have animal heads all over the place. This one's a little bit better because it's just antlers, so it's at least not just the face of a rat or a dead wolf looking you right in the eye as you're eating your celery and bread. Got a nice little chair. I figure like as soon as you walk in the door, you probably sit down, take your boots off, start getting some food. Walk through here, a little storage area which leads into the basement. Again, storage area, keep your food down here, keep your hay, keep your firewood. And then the bedroom, which I'll admit, not the absolute coziest place. I do think the kitchen is kind of the peak coziness of this house. But you know what? You have a nice bed with a couple candles here. This is where the farming couple canoodle every night. Now, I gotta say, a book next to a skull does seem a little demon worshipy. This book is called Rising Threat, Volume 4, which also not a very cozy read, in my opinion. So it's a small, quaint house. Nothing too crazy, but I think it has a really nice vibe to it. Next up is this building here, which doesn't look like too much of anything special from the outside. But believe it or not, this place is also called Snowshod Manor. As far as I can tell, there isn't really any association with the farm that we were just at, but I think it's kind of an interesting 1-2 punch, and the fact that they both are cozy places makes me think that maybe there is some sort of relation. So a lot of houses in Skyrim don't really have a dedicated foyer type area like this. I feel like usually it's quite purposeful, but I kind of like this. This is kind of a room to get ready. You know, there's a little bit of storage. Maybe you can take some stuff that you need for that given day. It's probably where you're putting your shoes on. Maybe it's just a morning coffee or a nightcap as well. Got your weapon by the front door, usually a good idea. And I just like this kind of setup here, right? You either got a staircase that goes right up or a doorway that goes around and down, as we can see here. And I just like that it's kind of open concept, a little bit visible. Let's go upstairs first. Here we have a bedroom. Pretty simple here. You got a bed, you got your dresser, you got your sword and shield, you got your cuck chair right here. A couple nice baskets as well. This room's quite nice as soon as you walk in. I mean, look at this frame here. That's a cozy frame. A couple candles that are just overflowing with how often they're burning. Some flowers in the middle to make the air nice and warm and has a good scent. And honestly, pretty empty space other than that. You know, everything's kind of kept neatly within its cupboards and drawers. And then this is a very, very cozy bedroom, especially as far as Skyrim standards go. Let's close the door behind us here. So obviously you got your bed, probably doing a little journaling at night. Keep warm by the fire in those cold, if I don't mind, in those cold Skyrim nights. Kind of a weird roof structure in here, but overall a very cozy home. And then when we head downstairs through this door again, this is where we have the main dining hall. Really laid out quite nicely. You got your garlics up on the wall. And yeah, okay, obviously there is this bear head here. But again, this is just having one in the main room. Okay, and a fish. Okay, maybe a skull. Maybe 2 skulls. Okay, so there's a lot of things on the walls, a lot of dead animal body parts. But this is actually kind of somewhat tasteful compared to a lot of other houses in this province. So, of course, you have your little cooking station here, all your cooking utensils, plates, pots, pans, some storage. And then down in the basement, very rare to find a cozy basement in Skyrim. Let's head over to the next place. Now, this might come as a surprise that we're still in Riften. We've actually jumped down to the sewer level. And somehow, one of these houses has a nice coziness factor. This is Valandor's house. And I think you can kind of see why. I mean, immediately as you walk in, this big, huge fire here, just a massive fireplace, absolutely illuminates like almost this entire room. This is like, you know, I'm not a big fan of the animal heads, but look at that. I mean, that even that has a bit of a coziness to it. And, you know, it really just kind of brightens up the cheese and the sweet rolls in the room. I just think that, to me, this seems like, you know, a lot of the space in here not really being used for much. You can have your dinner table here. It's kept pretty close to the fire. But this whole area, there's probably a lot more opportunity to do furniture or set up something of some kind. But really, you know, whoever lives here, probably a hardworking individual. And really, after a long day, they probably just come right here, sit down. They have their drink by their side. Maybe they have the love of their life or just a good friend, cooking dinner, telling stories, having drinks. Like, this is a very, very cozy spot. And when you're just looking here, straight forward at this fire in front of us, the rest of the world vanishes out. All the worries, all the things that have been on your mind, the fact that you're living in a dark, damp, probably disease-ridden sewer hole. And it's just like a nice, warm, cozy respite. Bedroom, honestly, not that comfy. I like that it's kind of one of those half-wall situations. You know, you got some things up there, maybe keep the scents nice and good in here. So overall, I did not expect to find a cozy place in the sewers of Riften, but lo and behold, we did. We are going to go ahead and take the carriage all the way over to Whiterun. But before we go into the city itself, I want to start with some of these surrounding farms. We're going to start here with the Pelagia farm. All right, let's go inside. So immediately pretty warm and cozy in here. Now, obviously there's some stuff missing in the actual roof. So I don't know if this is intentional. It is right above the fire. It may actually be like a form of venting, but I have to wonder how much that would affect the temperature of this place overall. But this is a pretty common trait shared by a lot of the houses that we'll see in Whiterun, is that there are these kind of painted planks in here. And obviously it's a bit faded. So it's, oh fuck. What the hell was that? I think I just stepped in the fire accidentally, but I swear I didn't. What was I saying? Oh yeah, there's kind of like this blue paint. And honestly, the fact that it's faded kind of adds like a rustic warmth to this place as well. A lot of nice wall decorations like these. So I love just a really chaotically decorated bookshelf. Look at these books. They're all on their side. You got a tankard on one. You've got a book with a bowl on top of it with a piece of lettuce inside that bowl. Like, that's just beautiful. Piece of cheese way up there on that bucket. Dinner table here. So obviously this is where you'd be doing your cooking over here. You have your various meats, your soups, all that kind of good stuff. But this is actually where you would eat. And, you know, once again, for a farmer, pretty efficient to have that right by the doorway. In the morning, you wake up, grab your food, crush your meal, head out the door, get to work. And then after the long work day, come back in. Maybe you immediately have a little piece of snack. And then you'd go get changed and settle down for the night. I will say there is a coziness to have like a little step down in your living room area. I don't love that it steps down into like mud or dirt. I wonder how much this would like track on your feet. Like, I have to imagine this is really padded out, but it kind of just looks like the surface of the moon or something. And whoever lives here, you know, not keeping this place super duper clean. Like, let's just, while we're here, I didn't mean to take that. Let's just tidy up a little bit. Okay. Maybe I'll just toss this one in here and we'll just forget about it. And then we have an interesting structure here. We have two separate bedrooms. which, you know, has all your amenities, of course, right next to your bed. I always keep a bottle of mead, a couple books, an ingot of iron. You have your boots, which you probably put on first thing in the morning, especially if you're about to immediately step out into some mud. And you'll get this. If you look through the wall here, you can see that kind of like see-through. Like, obviously, these planks are not seam sealed. So you have one bed there, and on the other side, you have the other bed. So whoever is working here, obviously not a couple like we saw at the Snowshod farm. I would kind of want, like, maybe a little bit more privacy than this. Like, I feel like if one of them passes gas, like, those fumes are just going to immediately travel through that wall over to your good buddy or coworker. And this one also, you know, nice book, Alto wine, of course, have some clothes. And personally, I can't fall asleep if I don't have a gourd within 1 meter of me at all times. So I think this is like a nice good luck charm and honestly something very relatable for me. Overall, I think it's a very cozy place. And even though I was critical of the wall structure here, I do think that this seems like something that was kind of put up in a hurry almost, and I think it adds what is normally just like one giant room of a house. It kind of gives it like 3 distinct places, and almost 4 because of the step down into the lower pit area here. So overall, I think this is like a really, really cozy place. I could see myself settling here. We have another farm just out here. This is the Battleborn farm. I'll be quick with this one because it is pretty similar to the farmhouse in Pelagiad Farm, but I just wanted to call out some of the neat little differences here. So obviously has the same similar structure here, step down into the muddy area with your main cooking situation. This one kind of moves the dining table area over here. And, you know, I really wondered how this would work because you have this muddy dirt area with a rug on it and then chairs. Like, I just can't imagine that this would go super well. I feel like this rug is going to get really nasty. I feel like the chairs are going to brush it up in the corners. But hey, it seems to be working for them, and it looks pretty clean and cozy at the moment. And obviously, imagine just cooking dinner here, having dinner here, warm fire at your back. Like, that would just be a really, really cozy place to be. And then the bedroom, you know, pretty simple stuff. But you do have a nice rug to keep things nice and warm. Adds a nice bit of color pop as well to this corner. And yeah, just have, you know, your sweet roll here, little treat, little midnight treat. Nice wall decorations. And, you know, we don't have any weird animal heads on the wall. All we have are some fish hanging here. But this is a bit more practical. I think we can definitely confirm that this is definitely venting for the fire and the smoke at this point, rather than being like a actual architectural issue. I guess those planks up there would wick away a lot of the water that would come through if it was to rain. But I just have to assume maybe it doesn't rain a whole lot in this part of Skyrim. We have 2 stops in the city of Whiterun, and one of them is right here. And it is this lady's house, actually. She's here right now. It's Olava the Feeble.
Come to Olava for a reading, did you? Sorry, pup, but I'm not quite in the mood.
And you know what? That is okay, because I did not come for a reading. I actually just came to take a look at your cozy home that
I tell the future
oh.
all right, when I feel up to the task, that is. But I'm afraid my energies haven't quite peaked yet today.
No problem. I mean, you did not seem to know that I was coming, so I believe you that your
Yes?
powers don't seem to... Okay. You keep interrupting me, so I'm just going to go ahead and go inside your house. I hope you don't mind.
Hands off!
So, probably the smallest house we will have looked at in this whole video here. And, you know, this right here obviously makes sense as a reading table. Have your soul gem in the middle. I feel like she could maybe do a little bit better with the cloth on this table. It doesn't seem extremely professional. And also I feel like maybe they should be facing each other, these chairs, but I don't know. I feel like this feels like more of a movie scene type thing where the characters aren't actually looking at each other, but because of camera angles, it seems like they might be. Got your candles here. This does very much fit the fortune teller vibe. Candles all over the place. On shelves, on brackets, in brackets on dressers next to skulls. So in the middle of this house, obviously this is the heart of the house, right? Is this big fire again, soup pot at the ready, and that'll keep you nice and warm when you're sleeping here in your bed. Doesn't really have much of a designated bedroom, really just a bed slapped on the ground. It'll keep you warm during your readings, which is your work. And I don't really know where she eats. Like, I'm guessing she just eats at the same table. Maybe she just stands right here and nibbles on a potato and cheese. Sometimes old people just don't really eat anything. Then over here we have the main storage area. She's got her chest where she keeps all of her goods. You know, some mystery elixirs up on the shelf there. Some more food. Couple nice, really nice urns, actually. She probably could fetch a pretty penny for those if she wanted to trade them in. Let's do some cooking here. Unfortunately, I don't have the ingredients for this right now, but maybe you guys can try it out. Alright, this is the next house we're going to look at in Whiterun. It's the House of Uthgerd, which is interestingly connected to this other house in Amryn, but I'm not going to highlight that one. I did not get good cozy vibes from that one. This is probably my favorite location in this video here. Let's break it down. As soon as you walk in, of course, having that fireplace immediately gives you that sense of warmth after you've come home from a long day of work. Right near the front door, obviously a really nice rug here, adds a little green pop, which kind of coincides nicely with the blue walls. And this to me is like where you stop real quick in the morning to have a quick bite before you head out for the day of work. But this is probably where you would stop more so to have a full-on dinner. And I don't know what's going on here, but it seems like a messy meal was had by Uthgerd. Just kind of a mess. I do think that Uthgerd is like a guard or something, and I don't think she is home a whole lot. So maybe there's just not a whole lot of time to clean up and do your chores. So we got a bunch of carrots on the ground here. I'll just scoop those up. There we go. Really hard to... There we go. Cheese on cheese. I love to see that. This little corner here is absolutely the coziest place in probably this whole video. Right next to the fire is where you do your cooking, of course. But if you are Uthgerd, you're probably going to be sitting here. You got your snack by your side, some vibrating cheese, some Alto wine, and you're just hanging out here by the fire, warming up, waiting for your dinner to finish cooking. Obviously, you got some nice decorations up above you can take a look at. I could see myself passing out here, having a nice little nap. You got a rug below, so your feet are nice and warm as well. And then in the corner here, you have a nice little workspace. You got some books to do some studying, maybe doing some journaling. I don't really know why there's a skull there, but you got some mead, some tomatoes, probably got important documents in here. But this also is like a really nice place. Sit here, do some writing, fire at your back, keeping you nice and warm. Really, really nice rug. I mean, it's not kept in the best condition, but you can tell it was made by a very skilled craftsman. I think one of the things that bumps this house up is that it doesn't really have a basement. This is the ground floor of the house. And so this is kind of the least cozy it's going to get. But look at these beautiful wooden beams you have here. Like, this is just a beautifully framed spot. I think it's just a really gorgeous location. Let's head up the stairs here. And this is really just not a whole lot here. We have a couple dressers. A couple daggers are kept here, which, you know, could display something a little bit nicer than like iron daggers. But hey, it's not my house. I'm just visiting. And then in the bedroom here, again, a really nice rug to tie the room together. We have a bed. Maybe first thing in the morning, wake up, crush an apple and a swig of wine, head off to your day, put your shoes on, get your clothes on. This place is pretty well insulated from the wind in Whiterun, so I don't think it would probably get too cold in here, especially with like a really, really solid foundation that this house appears to have. Well, you know what? I think it's time for me to find a cozy spot in my own home. Put my feet up, keep warm. Now, I really only showed off my findings in the kind of southeast quadrant of the map, but I have plenty of other spaces to share. I can't do them all today, so I'm going to leave you with a quick round of GeoGuessr, cozy Skyrim style. Let me know in the comments if you can tell me where these 3 places are from your knowledge alone. Whoever is closest wins a piece of cheese on top of a wheel of cheese. How does that sound? Okay, number 1. Number 2. And number 3. Let me know if you can figure them out. Also, let me know if you have another favorite cozy NPC spot, one that I didn't cover here. Maybe I'll cover it in a future episode. You know, comfort, warmth, coziness, all synonyms in some respect. And I, especially now that we are in winter, am in search of these places like we found today. I like being cozy. And, you know, after being asked this question by 100 Nords in Morrowind...
You like to dance close to the fire, don't you?
The answer is yes.